Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I am FPL D Unit and today you're here for your second video of the preseason, and that's because over the weekend we have had a number of FPL announcements, 6 in total, and I'm going to break down all 6 for you and what it means for your teams and your strategy heading into what we expect to be the game launch sometime this week. We may even get price reveals today. I'm actually banking in a game launch between Monday and Wednesday this week. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually drop the game tomorrow, but don't quote me on that. Without further ado, you know what to do. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Let me know in the comments as well what you think about all the changes and the ones that they've taken away from us from last season. And with that being said, let's go. So the rule changes or the big announcements that we have had 6 massive announcements, some more massive than others, and I'm going to break down each and every single one of you. So yesterday, we got 2 after we got 4 the night. Actually, maybe we got 3. No, we got 3 yesterday. My bad. And we got 3 the night before. So 3 on Friday, 3 on Saturday. Today is Sunday. There we go. Oh my God. So the first thing, and I'm put them in the order of the what I think about them. So 5 free transfers for AFCON in game week 16. What? I mean, when I first saw that, I thought, what an absolute gimmick. Like, what are they turning FPL into? But then I thought, this is a gift. I always use my transfers. Everyone will know from my season last year, I didn't get more than 2 saved free transfers all season long. This gift is literally rewarding my strategy of being aggressive and using transfers every single week. I actually really like it. Of all the changes, I think this is my favorite one. I'm going to go into a bit more detail when we look at that in terms of what it actually means. But on first glance, I was like, what are you doing? And now I'm like, this is actually brilliant for me. Like, it might not be brilliant for other managers, but for people like me that are aggressive, it's fantastic. You're just giving us 5 free transfers for nothing. Thanks very much, FPL. Next one is the changes to the bonus point system. This was much needed and it's a good change, and I think it makes defenders and goalkeepers a little bit more relevant, more likely to get the bonus points that we probably need to see them get. Then the next one I really don't understand at all. New global leagues to celebrate ranks. I mean, I'm in it because obviously I finished in the top 1% last season with a rank of 4,881, but I didn't think much of this one. If I'm being brutally honest, didn't think much of it. Because of the prizes that FPL offer, they have to significantly change this, and I've got a few ideas about that. Next one is the defensive contributions. This is capped at 2 points per game, and I'm going to break that down exactly what it means, but it does mean that hopefully there's a greater pool of players, particularly in the defender status, that might be relevant this season. Then a brilliant one, simplified assists. I'm going to break that down as well, but essentially there's going to be, if they'd had this rule last season, there'll be 41 extra assists that were given last year compared to ones that weren't. And then lastly, the AM chip, sadly, and we all know how much I love the chip, has been abolished for now. It could come back next season, we don't know, but it didn't say it was completely gone, full stop. Every other chip, though, they've now created twice. So FPL obviously ran out of ideas, and all the big content creators whinged about the AM chip because they sucked with it, because they all went slot and played it safe. But essentially, you're now going to get 2 lots of the same chips, 4 chips. The first lot, you're going to have to play game weeks 1 to 19. The second lot, game weeks 20 to 38. So let's start with the one that I now like the most, and that's 5 free transfers for AFCON. So my initial reaction, as I said, I was like, what are we doing here? Who's coming up? Who's cooking these ideas in their basement at 12 o'clock on a midnight with their mum and going, that could be fun. Let's whack that into the game. Well, this one I don't mind. Lots of content creators already whinging about the fact because they liked rolling their transfers and their strategy was risk averse, etc. Now you're literally saying to people, use your transfers, because if you have any saved free transfers prior to game week 16, you won't get the full 5 given to you. So there is no point in saving your transfers. It's very good for the first half of the season. We're now going to have people that actually have to think about their transfers week to week and actually make them, because otherwise you're going to miss out on the benefit of having 5 free ones. So actually benefits managers like myself that are aggressive with their early transfers, chasing that squad value early doors, and then all of a sudden you get 5 free gifts. Thanks for coming. Now, I also think this opens up a bench boost 16, 17, 18 strategy by stacking your bench prior to the second round of chips being available from game weeks 20 onwards. So the fact you're giving 5 free transfers by game week 16, you should know the form teams of the season. We'll know who the relegation fodder are. We'll know the teams that are running hot. We'll know the teams that have got good draws and the players that are probably going to be nailed. This is now, people talking about bench boost game week 1. This is the time to be playing your bench boost, especially if you have Salah. You can remove Salah with one of these transfers, split the funds across your bench, play your bench boost, and then when he comes back, you can use your other free transfers. You're probably going to have a couple saved because obviously they're giving you 5 to bring him back. Like, it makes so much sense. The idea behind giving these transfers is that so when everyone else is selling those players for AFCON, you're not losing your squad value because you are holding them during that period of time. The idea is that you can also do the same thing. I think it's brilliant. The more I've thought about it, the more I really like the idea that you get 5 free transfers at game week 16. It makes the game so much more interesting, and I'm loving it. But this is probably my favorite addition out of the 6 so far. Qualifying for the Global Leagues. Now, this one here is a little bit more controversial because, look, it only applies to the people that finish in the top 10%. If you finished, I don't even know what the top 10% was. There was 11 million teams last season. If the top 10% would be 1.2 million tops, I think you would qualify for the top 10% league. And you needed to be inside the top 110,000, I think, give or take teams to qualify for the top 1%. So obviously 4,881, brilliant. I'm in the top 1% league. What does it get me? I've got no idea. Does it even matter? I don't even care. I don't think it matters. I've actually got no interest in being in this league unless they start giving you decent prizes. Now, FPL, the powers that be, Mark, who's joined the team, maybe make it a bit more meaningful. In Australia, AFL Fantasy, there's like 140,000 people that play, and the top 100 get a hat with their rank on it at the end of the season. FPL is played by 11 million people. The least you guys could do is maybe get a hat, a shirt made up with your rank if you finished in the top 1,000 teams. Give a bit of reward. Give the people, the masses, a trophy that they can show that, hey, look, I had a really good season. It might not happen again, but hey, I finished top 1K. I think that'd be brilliant. Like maybe give it a little bit extra for someone that finished the top 100. But the top 1,000, getting a 4-figure rank is, I think, something to commend. So for that reason, FPL, they make so much money as it is. Surely they can do that. The other thing that this does, it does give something for everyone to aim for during the season, which hopefully does boost engagement, but in reality, I don't know if it really does or not. Pre-season defensive contributions. Now, defensive contributions. I like this one. So on here, FPL, this is the image they've got there on their graphic. These are the 3 players that would have benefited the most that were still in the Premier League this season from last season. So as we can see there, Tarkowski from Everton, plus 44 points. So that's 22 games out of 38 that he got the defensive contribution. Caicedo, one less game, 21 times he got it. And then Murillo got it 19 times. So exactly half of the games he got the plus 2. This is a good change. I've got no issues with this at all. It doesn't break the game. It just adds a few extra points, particularly for defenders. And look, I think almost everyone last season was playing a 3-man defense most given weeks. Now, potentially that might change. This, along with the changes to the bonus point system, does seem on first glance to benefit defenders in particular and goalkeepers when we get to the bonus point system. But I think realistically, it just helps create a more viable pool of players. In fairness, everyone was always waffling on about Arsenal defence, which I thought was massively overrated last season, FYI. Liverpool defence, etc., etc. Now you're going to have players that I was hot on last season, like Milenkovic, who now all of a sudden looks like an even better player, that are going to be able to take benefit of these points. Milenkovic, I think, went very close to, with the points from the defensive contributions, if they were added to his score from last season, to being the top defender in the game. Now, does this mean the defenders are going to be priced higher? We're going to have to wait till the prices drop, but realistically, I think that potentially Tarkowski is not going to come in at, I think he was 5 or 5.5 last season. I'm expecting potentially, with this factoring into the calculations that the prices are probably going to go up for defenders. But there should be some gems in there, and it does mean that bench boost, you should be able to get more points, particularly from if you invest in players from like Sunderland, Leeds, Burnley, who are probably not going to keep clean sheets, but they're going to be defending a lot, so there's going to be a lot of chance for them to get this +2, particularly their centre-backs. Now, it probably favours more centre-backs than full-backs, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, Wan-Bissaka is a player that I first thought of when I thought of this. Last season, had good attacking potential, was all right, but he's one of those players that always gets a tackling, like every single game. I feel like he must get close to 10, but he didn't appear on the list that I saw on the website. So again, maybe he's not as good as I thought, but I think this is good. Does it change defensive midfielders for me? Probably not. I'm not picking Caicedo. Think about it. If Chelsea concede a goal, he would normally have got 2 points, right? He's quite often gets a yellow card. That's 1. So +2 means he gets 3 instead of 2. On like a week where they concede. The max he goes up to is 5, which is the equivalent of just getting an assist and 2 and 2 appearance points. I don't think it's game breaking, and I don't think it's going to make massive difference in terms of picking midfielders. I think they probably needed to add more points to a midfielder that got to 12. That's my general crux of it. I think they probably should have made it +3 or something like that. Would have made it a bit more interesting. +2 doesn't really do enough for a midfielder, I don't think. So, how do you get these +2 points? To attain the +2, a defender needs to accumulate a combination of 10 of tackles, clearances, blocks, or interceptions. So it has to be 10 combined of those, you get the +2. If you get 20, you don't get +4. It's capped at +2 per game, which is annoying if you have a game where it's like really like lots of defending. You would like to hope they get more points, but it's not going to be the case. For a midfielder or a forward, you need an accumulation of 12 of tackles, clearances, blocks, interceptions, but they also can factor in ball recoveries. And I was thinking about ball recoveries. I was like, isn't that just a tackle? Like, are they not classified? So maybe they make the tackle and then they win the ball back. Does that count as 2? I'm assuming that's how it works, because I was like, ball recoveries, what are they on about? Like, if you get an interception, it's technically a ball recovery as well. But it's a little bit, I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but it'll be interesting to see how to. The annoying thing is you won't be able to tell how many more you need live in game on the app, from what I can read and what I've researched, which is annoying. So you're going to be sitting there, do I need an extra 1 to get the +2, or do I need an extra 5? It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what I think about that part of it, but if there was a nice counter in like the actual app that showed you what was going on, that'd be pretty good, and I think that'd be great. Obviously, this is not applicable for goalkeepers. They're not going to be doing, well, most of them aren't going to be doing tackles, etc., etc. So they don't get any bonus from this particular addition to the game. So more assists. Now, this one's a nice one. Last season, if this was in, as I said, you would have got an extra 41 assists in the game. Now, they've just literally simplified it, which means it's more chances of getting assists. Now, how does it mean? So it's easier to get an assist if the ball is played into the box and is cleared, deflected only one time by one defender. If it's 2 defenders, it doesn't count. It's like last season. But if it's only one deflection, etc., and it falls to a player in the box is the key word here, falls to a player in the box, and they score, it counts as an assist. So it doesn't matter if they're in the intended target or not. If it deflects to them and they score, it's now counted as an assist to the person that played the ball in. Now, if a pen is awarded now due to a forced handball and it's scored from the penalty spot, it's now given an assist. Prior to this season, it didn't count as an assist. So that's also cool. Extra assist there, brilliant. I'd like to see just penalties won instead of assists, but I don't think we're going to see that. Old rules still apply if the goal is scored, but the above action did not happen within the box. So, for example, if Bruno Fernandes is sitting there 20 yards out, the ball's crossed in, it comes back out to him, but he's not in the box and he scores, it's no assist for the person that put the ball in or whatever. So it has to be scored from within the box. That is a very important stipulation in this. It does simplify it, and it will equal more points across the season, which is a good thing. And I think it just means that, you know, those ambiguous ones where I go, why was that an assist or why wasn't it an assist? We've taken that out of the game now, which I think is a very good thing for FPL. The BPS changes, and this is one that needed to be done. Last season, it was so easy for a forward. I'm looking at Chris Wood. I'm looking at Isaac towards the end of the season, where they did absolutely nothing. They had an absolute mare of a game, and then they would get a penalty, they'd score it, and they'd make off a 3 bonus. And you were like, how? They've done nothing. They've been absolutely rubbish. Just because they scored a penalty doesn't mean that they should get the 3 bonus points. It's also probably going to nerf Salah, because Salah had a lot of games last season that you can remember, didn't do a hell of a lot. Liverpool won a penalty. Salah took it. Guess what? He ends up on 10 points with the 3 bonus. So again, I think this is a very good thing. So anyone that scores a penalty now, regardless of position, will get plus 12 on the bonus point system, which is good because last season, midfielders got plus 18 for scoring a penalty and forwards got plus 24. Now you're probably figuring out how Chris Wood got all those bonus points last season when he scored those penalties. So that's good. And I think that means that's going to be a very strong change against the forwards and the midfielders, more in favour of the defenders, just based off that one action alone. Obviously, goals scored is still plus 24, plus 18, etc., for the midfielders forwards. But it's good. It also is increasing from 2 bonus points to 3 bonus points on the system for goalkeepers making a save from a shot within the box. So a shot within the box last season, if they saved it, you got plus 2. This season, you get plus 3. Now, if it's a shot from still outside the box, so from 20 yards or whatever, it's still only plus 2. There's no changes to that one. Penalty saves as well has dropped from plus 12 to essentially plus 11. It's actually dropped to plus 8, but then it adds on the save from within the box, which is plus 3, which then becomes plus 11. I'm not sure why they've done that, because a penalty save for me should still be worth, they shouldn't be getting dropped. I'm not sure why they've done that, because penalties in games are very rare as it is. I think if a goalkeeper makes one, they should definitely be in the bonus point system. I'm not sure why they nerfed it by 1. That one doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense to me. Goal line clearances, though, are up to plus 9 on the bonus point system from plus 3 last season. That's a big change. So defenders that sit there on the back posts and near posts on corners and then head it off the line or whatever, they're going to be getting plus 9 on the bonus point system, a much higher likelihood. So you need to be paying attention potentially during preseason on players that are going to be starting at the front or near post or the back post, and then trying to work out whether they're good assets to loan, because there's a good chance they'll end up in the bonus point system when they get that goal line clearance. And lastly, any tackle won now is plus 2 bonus points, regardless of lost tackles. So it used to be like a bit like goal difference, where you made a bunch of tackles, you lost a bunch, and you'd get the difference, and that'd be like your goal difference. Now, it doesn't matter how many tackles you lose, as long as you're making a tackle and you win it, that's plus 2, and I think that's also a good change, again, for defensive midfielders or people that like making tackles, but realistically, for defenders as well. And then on to the double chips. What do I think about this one? This is the one that I'm most disappointed about. Like, let's be honest. I think the people at FPL this season were scared of what all the other big dogs thought about the AM chip, and they've gone back to a very stale template. I don't know why. When you have a game called FPL Challenge with different rules, different ideas, that you can't concoct over the summer, different chips to make the game more interesting, engaging, exciting. Instead, you bring out the same 4 chips, then you give them to everyone twice. So game weeks 1 to 19, you'll get a wild card, a triple captain, a free hit, bench boost, plus 5 free transfers in game week 16. I think the idea behind the chips and getting them out twice is to boost engagement. I don't know if it keeps people post like the first 10 weeks anyway, giving them a second lot of chips. I honestly don't think it makes much difference in terms of that. I would like to have seen some ingenuity and some actual thought about creating new ones. That's what I would like to have seen. Different strategies will emerge, obviously, with the fact that you've now got these early chips you have to play in the first half of the season. You're going to have to work about which fixtures, which weeks to play them, which looks like a good fixture for a triple captain, which round of fixtures looks good for a bench boost. And I can already tell you that a lot of the big content creators are going to be telling you about bench boost, game week 1, get it over and done with. Well, you've got an extra wildcard, you've got an extra free hit, etc., and you get the 5 free transfers from AFCON. I think a bench boost 16, 17, 18 makes so much more sense when we have form, we know who's going to be starting. Game week 1 is always a little bit hit and risk because you don't know whether the new signing is going to start straight off the bat, they're going to start on the bench and then come on. You don't know who's going to last 60 minutes or come off before 60 minutes. I think it's a lot of risk to be playing bench boost game week 1, and I definitely won't be doing it. I can give you the hot tip. I'm definitely looking already at 16, 17, 18, playing my bench boost around then. Decent fixtures for a lot of teams during that period of time as well, and you're going to have a stronger bench at that time of the season than what you're going to have game week 1, depending on who you go with. 2 triple captains will most likely make certain players very popular in certain weeks as well. You can almost guarantee that the mainstream media are going to be pushing Haaland triple captain against Burnley at home or something like this, or Salah triple captain against Leeds at home or something. You just know it's going to happen. But I think the fact you get 2 of them, like last season I played triple captain on Haaland, and the idea behind FPL saying you get more points from having more chips. I actually made 56 points on the AM chip last season. I made 8 combined from my triple captain and bench boost. How's that more points? I'm going to be like 48 points worse off with the idea behind this instead of having an AM chip. I don't agree with the reasoning behind it. It's definitely not more points. It's probably more chances to stuff it up more than anything else. And as I said, the last point, what is the point of having an FPL challenge if you can't create some of the amazing ideas that are in actually that format of the game and put them into fantasy? Like, it just reeks of laziness, of people that don't really know what they're doing. I'm probably being a bit harsh. I'm just disappointed that they couldn't come up with something new. We don't need the same chip times 2 every season. I'd like to see it just go back to 1 of each and then just add 4 new ones. Like, be creative if you're going to make changes. So the death of the AM chip, and I have to give it an arbitrary. This was my favourite chip of FPL that I've ever had. This gave the game disruption that it clearly needed. Alas, it's no more for this season in the guise that it was last season. They obviously listened to all the big people that make money off the game and said, nope, we don't want that chip, and this is exactly what's happened. And I'll call it out for it because this chip was fun. The reason why no one else liked it, except probably my channel and a couple others, is because of the fact that it was so swingy. But it was there for the risk takers. And I took the risk. I went table bonus every single week. Let's all remember, for the people that did exactly what I did, game weeks 24 to 26. We all remember the brilliance of Moyes to Emery to Glasner and how much fun that was and getting 56 points from it. It was a magical time to be alive. We learnt a couple of key things. The big dogs got it wrong. Table bonus was king and will always remain king. The mainstream didn't like it. Hopefully we see it again in 26, 27. I understand potentially they should have added minus points for red cards, yellow cards, etc. for managers and whatever. I just thought it was so much fun. I do remember Tarkowski scoring against Liverpool at Goodison Park in the final Merseyside derby, and the points swing was just so unbelievably good. It was my favourite moment of FPL last season. And then Emery getting that draw against Slot as well after the disappointment of not beating, or was it Ipswich or whatever at home, and then Glasner just tearing it apart against Fulham 4-0. That was just brilliant. It was just so much fun. I'm so disappointed that they haven't been able to bring it back. And obviously, what have they done to make up for it? Well, they've added every 2 of every chip. But I really think the FPL should have looked at bringing it back because it was fun. It maybe needed a little bit of nerfing, maybe not 3 weeks long, maybe 1 week instead, but it would have been fun to have it back. It was my favourite chip by a country mile, and I'm disappointed to see it go. So other changes I'd like to see that probably aren't going to happen, but these are things that I think they should have been looking at, which would have made a lot of sense. I was always big on differentials last season. I do a video every week on differentials, and it would have been nice to see extra points, a bit like what the Club World Cup did, with +2 for any one of your players that earned over 4 points and was less than 5% owned. Like, give people a reason to be different. Reward it. Don't just reward the people that just go with the template and follow the big people and whatever. That would have been nice. Change to the FPL deadline time. So we don't have to worry about these fools that literally sell content based on game leaks prior to the first game, especially when Man City are in that first game of the weekend. Just move the deadline to an hour before the kickoff so we get the team lineups through, people can make their changes, adjust their transfers that they're going to do, and it's fair for everyone instead of these people that sit there and literally sell the info on their streams, etc., etc. I want to see that happen. That would be a really good change to FPL, and they should fix that. Or the next best thing, create a rolling lockout like the Club World Cup, like lots of other fantasy games have, and allow the ability, because this adds strategy to the game and makes it nice for the casual as well, because casuals can sit there and go, I didn't like the score that he only got 0 points or 1 point. I'm going to swap him out for someone else. My captain sucked. Let me move to a different captain. This actually adds strategy and also engages the casual players that maybe are having a crap week because they picked a bad captain. Make it happen. Manual subs. Then you don't have to worry about when the deadline is, because you'll be able to change your team based on whether there's a game coming after the game that's happened. Obviously, there's games on Sunday, and it is a bit more risk because Super Sunday normally has the tougher fixtures, etc., etc. But it does allow you the chance to swap and do the manual stuff. It adds strategy as well. I know the big dogs aren't going to like it, but that doesn't matter. This adds something to the game. I'd like to see that as well. And obviously, remove the ability to roll transfers to 5. There's no need for it. You're giving us 5 freebies anyway. Get the game back to what it used to be. Be aggressive with your transfers. Make people want to use them within every 1 or 2 weeks. If you have to do that, you're going to keep more people engaged for longer. Well, otherwise, you can sit there and turn your phone off for 5 weeks, come back and fix your team. I just think that with all the new chips they've added in, there is no reason to be literally rolling 5 transfers anymore. Makes no sense to me. So that brings us to the end of the rule changes that we've seen so far. There's been 6 big announcements. I'm expecting now that that's probably going to be it or close to it. If there's any more, I will include it in my next video, but I just wanted to put all that together in one video for everyone. I'm not going to make a video for every rule change because that just seems silly. I've combined them all into one. Hopefully you've found that interesting, engaging, and informative more than anything else. Let me know in the comments what you think about every one of those 6 changes, which ones you like the most, which ones you didn't like the most. Are you now coming around to the fact that it's so cool you're just getting 5 free transfers in game week 16 like I am because of the fact you are an aggressive manager? Let me know. I'll see you again very shortly when the game hopefully does launch. Hopefully there's not too many more announcements that I haven't covered in this video. Thanks for watching. As I said, make sure you drop a like before you leave. Leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And that's been it. I've been FPLD Unit. I'll see you again soon.